What's up, guys? I don't know why I don't ever just hit or take the sip of the water and then go live. I always find myself in that routine where I'm like, click live. All right, let me just wet up the whistle real quick. Come on. I gotta figure that shit out. Um yeah, it's been a while actually since I did the last one. Let me see the date on what the last one was. Man, I put out a lot of stuff. Lucky Late Night number 12 was April 5th, so just about a week and a half. I feel like I got a lot of new followers and subscribers since the last time I did this thing. So just a reminder to people, there's no structure to this podcast. It's just winding down for the night, right? If you guys know what I mean. And just talking some shit. We can talk fights. We can talk whatever the fuck. We'll see where the chat's going. But, I've been talking MMA all week. Y'all are going to get fucking 3 streams from me tomorrow. I don't mind talking MMA, don't get me wrong, but let's just talk some shit. But yeah, I feel like it's finally set into my brain that I'm doing this full time. Like in terms of not saying that I've gotten into a routine, but just like remembering that I don't have a obligation that's not my own that I have to wake up for or be attentive for. So it's nice to have this freedom. But I gotta stay on my game, right? I can't just slack off now. This is when you gotta do the hard work and get through it. I was telling a couple people it's kind of shitty that, it's been like consecutive weekends now where we've had Bellator and UFC on the same weekend. And I literally just left my job. So my whole goal was to get ahead of schedule. And now I'm still here, fucking not on schedule, but like up to schedule, I should say. But I just want to be ahead of schedule. That's always been my goal. So I'm hoping that I can begin it. Like tomorrow, I intend on obviously doing those 3 streams, 10 a.m. for the Bellator 257 full breakdown, noon Eastern for the live weigh-in chat, and then I think 3 o'clock I'm doing my 3 o'clock I'm doing an interview / breakdown with Jeannie, who I believe is in the chat right now. Yeah, the Old Boy MMA podcast. That's actually MMA Genie, if you guys know him, that 13, 14-year-old kid who's just killing it. Fucking interviews with all these different fighters, and he's doing up the content. It's crazy that he's so active at such a young age and has a lot of fucking wealth of knowledge and experience. But yeah, it's going to be crazy to think what he's going to be doing when he's 18, 19, 20 years old, if he's already in the game this early. But yeah, I think he's branding his new podcast called the Old Boy MMA Podcast. Make sure you guys check that shit out. I did see somewhere in the chat that somebody said, Chris A, you look beat, brother. Get some rest. I'm good. Like I will pass out very soon, but I just want to say what's up. Love doing some Lucky Late Night. Just vent, empty the brain out. So yeah, that's after I do the interview thing with Jeannie, I'm gonna hopefully look to just lock in my next lock of the night play, which is UFC 261, which honestly seems pretty straightforward. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do it. And you guys know what I mean. Again, lowest goal lock of the night method. We get a solid plus or minus. Like again, my major limit is minus 350. Never come anywhere near that except Colby Covington against Tyron Woodley. That's one that I was willing to pay the juice on, or that heavy of juice. But the goal is, obviously my most confident pick, but odds no worse than minus 250. Like I'd be willing to pay that much juice on my surest pick of the night. with that said, it's been working out over the last several events. So this weekend, including tomorrow, will potentially tie my longest active consecutive winning events streak, longest winning streak in terms of events, which has been 9. Right now I'm at 7. So see how that goes. Gruden's burner, exactly. You already know what's up. Let's see what the chat's saying. Severe saying he has 90 seconds to rip the bong. I'm glad you're feeling very similar to how I'm feeling. Ken Knowles in the house. What's going on, my brother? Jimmy the Drunk saying Romanov versus Espino. Great kickboxing, boxing war. I hope we get to see some grappling, but I see where you're going with that. Yeah, tell me that's not the most anticipated fight this weekend. Fuck Jake Paul and Ben Askren, and fuck Whitaker and Gastelum, Vadim and fucking Phil. Romanov Espino. That is the main event of the weekend. Acai Fueled Mountaineer. See you. I see you, my guy. Severe saying East Coast represents, still going hard. It's crazy. Yeah, it's like 2:00. 2:20 to be exact. T-Rex saying, what up, Lock? What are you thinking about joining the Patreon? Do you know anything about Bovada by chance? I'm up in Canada, and I think our equivalent is Bodog. I have an account with them, but I don't actively use them, so I'm not sure how much I can actually help you out, my guy. Gruden's burner. What's going on, brother? I say you fueled Mountaineer. You should, Rex. He puts in work on it. I may know something about Big B. Appreciate you, man. You the man. You the man. You the man. Ginny's in the chat. What's going on? I see you fueled Mountaineer. I use Bavara before I moved to League of State. Grunsburner is saying, excited for that post weigh-in show tomorrow. You and Clint are good personalities together. Yeah, I love that dude. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan of his, and I'm sure he says the same about me. But yeah, one of these days, me and him might end up having a show together. Just one of these days. Not saying that we've ever talked about it or anything's in the works like that, but it would be great to do something with him on a regular basis, given how much people like it. Yep, I'll be breaking down Jamie Simmons versus Johnny Munoz with Genie tomorrow, but I believe it's going to be pre-recorded. Yeah, I got to jump into the tape for that. So yeah, maybe I should do that tomorrow before the streams. Kung Dao Chicken is saying, do you only cap MMA full time now, or do you do other sports? Is it sustainable just spending on MMA? Yeah, I'm happy with just MMA, to be honest. Like, it takes my full attention. There's enough events, there's enough opportunities. As soon as I catch up to the schedule, I want to so I'd be betting UFC, Bellator, and I want to add LFA to the fold. And I feel like that would be a great 3 promotions for me to just focus on and still have enough time to just chill out and enjoy the fact that I'm, my own boss essentially. So yeah, I don't want to get too crazy with it. And again, with these cards, I want to do like full podcasts, full card breakdown of MMA, of UFC, Bellator, and LFA. I just got to get ahead of schedule first. Gordonsberger, you know what's up. Sam Nia saying, if Gaslam wins, you think he jumps Vittori due to previous fight? If he wins impressively, let me pull up the UFC rankings real quick. I'm trying to figure out who else is there at the top. Middleweight, number 1. Okay, champion Adesanya won Whitaker, so he would have beaten number 1. Paulo Costa just lost. Marvin Vettori, who's up there. Cannonier just lost. Brunson won. Till is just sitting on the outside right now. Hermanson, who's Hermanson fighting? I think he has a fight coming up, right? Shabazian. Yeah, in terms of the top, yeah, if Gastelum beats Whitaker impressively, I could see them giving him the shot over Vittori. And then for Vittori, I think what we could do is Brunson versus Vittori for number 1 contender after Gastelum. Thoughts? Let me know what you guys think about that one. Jesse Scott, do you never bet over a minus 250 or just never make it your lock of the night? Like I've parlayed better, like worse than minus 250s in the past, but in terms of like a straight bet, I've never bet over minus. Actually, no, I lied. I lied. My first ever lock of the night play. You guys can look at my Bet MMA tips record. My first ever lock of the night play, and I think after that fight is when I decided that I shouldn't do anything worse than minus 350. It was Misha Serkinov minus 389 or minus 390 against Volkan Oezdemir. And I'm sure most of you guys remember how that turned out. So, yeah. Bryce is saying, oh, Chris A is saying Bellator chalk is starting to be a weekly thing for me. Yeah, there's not many spots this weekend for chalk, right? There's a lot more closer lined fights. Like, I'd say safe chalk for Bellator is Burnell, Gibson Jr., Bud, and Gleekis, and the under 1.5 in the Mowry and Asher fight. Like I feel like there's usually way more chalk that can be parlayed. Ryan Barton saying, "What's up, Lock? I love that freedom, living the dream." Yeah. Again, I just got to be a morning person now. I got to make that switch. Genius asking Oliveira or Brown. I'll lean Oliveira early, but I got to run the tape on that still. Sammy's saying, always ripping bong, low key, got to chill out with it. Spend more money on the gambling. Yeah, you got to be efficient with it, right? Otherwise, you can just fucking rack it up in terms of builds for getting on that. I have a pen as well that kind of helps me be a little bit more efficient with it. But when I do Lucky late night, it's got to be a J. It's got to be a J. Tio took it in the chat. What's up, my dude? Elijah Blair is asking, how pumped are you for Baeza versus Ponzinibbio? It's a great fucking fight, man. That is a great fight. I'm very high on Miguel Baeza, but what kind of Ponzinibbio are we going to see? Is he going to get knocked out again? Like, he got put out bad by Jing Liang. Baeza's one of my dark horses in this division, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the odds look like and going from there. Genie's favorite fight is easily Romanov Espino right there. Bryce is like, who do you got? Ben Askren or Jake Paul? That's a real question. I'd say Paul, but I'm not betting on that fight at all. Hell to the nah. Nick Hastings, East Coast, what up? Ryan Clooney saying, if you ain't on the Patreon, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems and a lot get one. That's my dude. That's my dude. See, I'm glad that people are appreciative of that style, right? Like, there's been in the past, like when I was first coming up, you know, you're a square, or you're a fish, whatever the fuck. But like, if you're hitting it at like a solid percent and a solid rate, cashing tickets on a weekly basis. That was my goal coming in. I wanted to get to the point where I can get my bankroll, where I can make $5,000 bet every week, and almost guarantee myself, a solid little bonus every week just because of that. So I'm still on my goal to get there in terms of get my units up to, $1,000 per unit. But yeah, that was the goal, and I'm hoping, it shows in my Bet MMA statistics that this is my sweet spot. So why the fuck am I neglecting it? Call me a square, call me a fish. I don't give a fuck. My people can guarantee, not guarantee, but like be damn sure that they're going to be getting a solid return every week. I just want to check something actually. I apologize. Give me one sec. Was that about a 40% return at worst on minus 250s? That's kind of what I'm aiming for. Something to bank on. A lock of the night. again, that word lock is just so taboo in this industry, and I just don't give a fuck, to be honest. Like, I'm very transparent about what my record is, and um, yeah, it works. When I stick to it, it works. And by lock, I always mean my most confident pick of the card. That's my approach. Money line or straight, or sorry, or over under. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Fernando Cunha is saying, "Do you think Julia Budd, Lance Gibson, and Lupita Godinez is a good parlay?" I think I'm not sold on Godinez, to be honest. Like, she's still raw, she's still new. Um, she could shit the bed. I think spots like um Burnell or um Gravely, Cortez, maybe even Whitaker, I'd feel more comfortable than putting Godinez in. But Godinez could absolutely win. That's exactly why the odds where they are. I'm just not the most sold on it. T-Rex is saying, "I'll check it out. I live in Cali, so betting ain't allowed, hence not a Patreon member." Ah, that sucks. That fucking sucks. Genie's parlay hit last week. Vittori Vos Gamrot, nice. Cortez Al Hassan. Let me just see where the fuck I left off in the chat here. StreamYard does this weird thing where, like, it doesn't keep where you're at with the comments. SIE Field Mountaineers is saying, "Is it bad that I'm attending 262 and praying that Edwards, Dariush both pull out so that they make Ferguson Diaz?" Dude, could you imagine that fucking fight? So would Ferguson? I guess Ferguson would go up to 170, right? Damn, that would be dope. That would be so fucking dope. But yeah, enjoy, dude. I think that's in Vegas, right? Crazy fucking card. Jimmy the Drunk saying, "Four left to close out eight leg parlay. What will be the one that cost me to win? Whitaker, Gravely, Fabinski, or Orlovsky, Sherman under 2.5." I'd say the flakiest could potentially be Fabinski. I like all the other spots. Bryce D is saying, "You think Al Hassan is more of a lock than Whitaker?" I know Malkoun is asked, but Abdul has been sus. I'd rather take the under 1.5 first and foremost in that Al Hassan fight if I'm taking Al Hassan to win, right? Minus 140. If he's going to get it done, it's probably in the first round. Um, I don't know who I feel more comfortable with. Like, without even thinking about it, and I feel like the Al Hassan under 1.5 is the safer spot than Whitaker. But like you said, Abdullah has been suspect recently. I feel so I'm like such a dad just saying suspect when my man just said sus. Um, yeah, I don't know why, but I feel more comfortable with the Abdul under 1.5 than Whitaker. Chris A saying, "I don't see Vittori getting next after not finishing long with all that control time." Yeah, that's what I mean, is probably working against him right now. Can Ozolowski decision bust your parlay? Ooh. And Hastings saying Sherman by decision or by KO. I'm leaning KO now, man. It's I'm having trouble with settling on a method of victory there, and I might have to update my best bets and props for um 1 sec. My best bets and props article. I can't even remember which one I put for that. Gift of Nothing sitting there, nice read on Allen. Everyone else faded him. Yeah, I felt good about that one. Wish you got the KO. I had a plus 870 on that KO prop. Fuck, that would have been nice. Chris says like, yeah, that fight could get mad ugly after round three. He's talking about Jake Paul and Ben Askren. Tio took it asking, obviously Askren or Paul. I'd take Paul, but I'm not putting any money on that shit show. Fuck that. Elijah Blair saying I'm a subscriber of your Patreon outside of the lock of the night. What is your second favorite pick on Vegas 24? Um, let me just take a quick look again. Man, fucking tough card. Tough card outside of the lock of the night, to be honest. Like, I just told my man, fuck, I forgot who commented it, but what do I feel more comfortable with, Whitaker or Al Hassan? And I said Al Hassan, even with the under 1.5 and minus 130. But now, like, thinking about actually putting my fucking money on it, I trust Whitaker more. Like, I think Whitaker minus 250 is not too bad of a shot. If I'm talking about, like, betting no worse than minus 250 on my most confident spot of the card. And it's a toss up, but yeah, about Whitaker. I don't know, man. I feel like I got a good one, though. I feel like I got a good one. Junior Drum plus 125, Volkov against Gane. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Kind of lean Gane. I don't know if I'll bet it, though. Gifted Nothing has 6 units on Cortez. Can't say I don't hate that. More worth less is saying, have you looked at Bellator this weekend? Think the card is stronger than UFC? It's a decent card. There's some fun fights. I'm going to be doing a stream in the morning at 10 a.m. going over the card from a betting perspective. But I do have a lock of the night play on that, and I do have a dog of the night play as well. Samney's asking what time UFC starts this week. I think it's back to regular time, 7 or 6 o'clock. 7 or 6 o'clock start for the prelims. Nick West saying the card should be very profitable. I hope so. Timothy Triano is saying my most confident pick of the night doesn't have the same ring to it. Exactly. Exactly. I'm in Kayla in the chat saying Godinez wins. She trains with an Olympic level wrestler on daily. Ooh. My concern is what is her jiu-jitsu gonna look like? Like that's Pena's best trait, right? But I think that Godinez will have better, takedown defense, and then we'll see wrestling out of Penny. So yeah, maybe the wrestling is helping her with the takedown defense, keep the fight on the feet. Samney was the fight that got you to love MMA. Mine was Kane versus JDS1. Man, I remember that fight. That was crazy. That was me about 5 or 6 years already into MMA. And, it really wasn't a fight that got me into it per se. I'd say it was more a fighter, and that was Vanderlei Silva and Shogun Rua. Both of those guys, like, I don't know. First of all, their names just sounded hella cool back then. Never hearing names like that in my life before. And then just watching their fights, and I think I saw him get knocked out by Rampage, uh, talking about Vanderlei, and then I just started watching the rest of the cards. Like I remember I got together with my brother and his boys for a birthday party at a Boston Pizza, which is like a bar by us that would show the UFC at nights. And we were there for, I want to say UFC 92. Yeah, UFC 92, headlined by Rashad Evans and Forrest Griffin for the title. Co-main event, Frank Mir, Antonio Nogueira, CB Dalloway, Mike Macenzio, Rampage versus Vanderlei, Congo versus Mustafa Alturk. I think this is like the first UFC 92 was the first one where I like watched almost from beginning to end. But I did start to hop over when Lesnar came over from wrestling. That was another thing. But yeah, the sport's fucking amazing. I'm so happy. Like, look what it's done for my life, for following it as much as I do. It's insane. I'm so glad that I found it. Noah saying Gravely and Cortez are at my core. I can see that. Chris A. Close. Steven's not getting enough love. It's going to be the fight of the night. Yeah, it could be, but Close is normally not in great fights outside of the Beneil Dariush fight. But Jeremy Stevens might bring that out of him. Timothy Triano is saying favorite parlay play this week is Cortez by decision, Gravy by KO points, Whitaker round 4 or 5 in decision, under 1.5. Hmm. Noah saying outside round one is a lock. Aw, Rachel Stavanch. Troll accounts out. Jimmy the Drunk is saying Woman's 115-pound version of Romanov Espino is coming June 19th. Jandy Roba versus Murata. Ooh, that is a great fight. Good call, Jimmy. That's a hardcore motherfucker right there. That's a solid spot. I like it. Liam picks fights, my guy. Truly late night tonight. Today, brother. Love it. Yeah, I'll probably be on for another 20-ish or so minutes. Tio took his saying, I fuck with the darkness and the lights, bro. I know you mentioned that wire, but at this point, we Gucci. Dope color scheme right now. I'm digging the vibes. Yeah. I love the black and gold. Like, it's fucking dope. Even the background, like the wallpaper back there, that wasn't like what I had in mind. But when I was looking through the catalogs of the wallpapers, that one stood out. Like, maybe I'll show you guys on IG or something like that. But I'll show you guys like the actual texture and like the gold lines that you guys see. They're shiny. Looks fucking dope. But yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better studio setup right now. Average Joe is saying, am I the only one surprised Mishra as a dog? Fibinski gets submitted a lot, and Mishra only wins by sub. Yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. I might even be taking a little bit of a stab on that round three prop. More or less the same thing. Hubbard round three is live. Speaking of round three props, Hubbard has great cardio and anti wrestling. Beats Roscoff after round two. Beats a Matson in round three. He comes online when his opponents fade. Yeah, like I'm picking Bush to win this weekend, but the short notice nature of it is really fucking with me now, which is why I'm kind of hesitating on whether I should pull the trigger on that or not. Have him on a couple like lottery parlays, but that's about it. Shawnee Mac in the house. What's up, man? Samni, who do you think is the biggest busted UFC prospect of all time? Ooh, good question. Um, take this. Like I know this guy's not a prospect. He's probably considered one of the goats, but think about if John Jones never fucked up legally and his image as much as he did. He could have potentially been bigger than Connor. And what I mean by that is like think about the run he would have been going on if he just continued fighting. Like when he won the belt at UFC 128, it didn't stop for him there. Not to mention he earned that title shot after being Ryan Bader at UFC 126. Like he used to fight so much. In 2011, he fought 4 times. Beats Bader in February, beat Shogun for the title a month and a half later, February, March, defends against Jackson in September, and then beats Lyoto in December. Like, he was running through competition so actively. Like he competed at least twice a year. Jesus, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights were in 2008. He fought almost every other week. And holy fuck, guys, take this in. In his pro debut in April 2008, and then by August he was in the UFC. What the fuck? That is insane. That is insane. What is that? 5 months. In 5 months, he made it to the UFC. And then so what I'm trying to say is like, so when did his legal issue start? feel like it was after Cormier. After that, his career just like slowed the fuck up. But goddamn, John Jones could have been so much more heavyweight champion years ago, possibly, right? Maybe made a crossover boxing fight with somebody who's big just because of his undefeated streak, his image at the time, greatest of all time, continuously defending and beating guys time and time again with no legal issues. God, insane. Um, but other ones, Mirbek Taisumov is one that comes to mind. That was a prospect that never really panned out. I had very high hopes for that guy. That didn't work out at all. Can't really think of other guys right now. Amin Keller is saying, Brother Godinez trains with Olympic level wrestler and our main coach is a black belt under Eddie Bravo, one of his earliest black belts, think '08. All right, all right, all right. You seem very confident in her. Jeannie, good answers here. Hector Lombard, Eric Silva. Yeah, I remember when Eric Silva was supposedly going to be the shit. I think by now I can consider myself an OG with all these these new fans. Thanks, Samni. Samni saying, "What do you think? Never wanted to call myself an OG because of guys like you, Kaposa, and all those OG fans, for sure. You're an OG. You're right." King is saying he thinks Romanov is a very good bet. Good spot. You know, I don't know. Timothy Triano round 3 for Godina as GM3 and Romanov. Who do you love round 3? I'd say GM3 is is the one that I lean the most. TJ Killerson, Burchick is live. I think to a certain extent, but I think Gravely grinds that shit out. But it almost feels too weird, right? Like everybody seems to be in agreement about Gravely. Maybe he's the one that's just bad. The one you least suspect. Sam Nee, Lombard. Yep, that's a good one. I was at his UFC debut working with the UFC 149 against Tim Bosch, where he shit the bed in his debut. Tio Tucker saying, if you put a good light on the ceiling shining towards the wall, I think it'll bring out the gold pattern, bro. Just thought, if you put a good light on the ceiling shining towards the wall. I'll if you can send me some sort of, I don't know, a tutorial or an example of it, I'd love to capitalize on it, right? I'm always open to suggestions. Chris A, back to 100%. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Sage Northcutt, I never really had high hopes for him, though. Like you kind of just saw he was a guy with the looks and decent power, and he can beat some of these scrubs like Cody Fister and stuff. But then when he fights real competition, he probably cracks under the pressure. So never really got that high on him. Angela Lee in the chat. Oh God, is she getting too dirty with us? All right. Multi-event parlays is where it's at, my guy. Killer G knows. Yeah, I've made a couple now, man. I gotta let these play out before I invest more money in these parlays. Bradsky in the chat. Lock, what's up, my dude? How you feel about Paul Daly versus the assholes Homasi tomorrow night? I think Daly wins, but fuck it, it could be a weird fight. Like Homasi might go for takedowns, might try to slow him down that way. Yeah, I'm not touching that fight. I think Daly wins though. Greg Love knows what's up. Yeah, Jones fucked up his toe. Has the most impressive resume in MMA. Yeah, you're right. Zach is all in on Askren. Askren going to get the work. I'm very confused as to why the over 1.5 in the Gravely fight is only minus 150. Like they are finishers and they can be finishes, so I kind of understand it. But yeah, I think that's a good spot. Sam Nee saying John Jones has the best resume of all time. I don't care about the Reyes and Santos fight. He give a fuck about those losers because they added nothing to his legacy. Yeah. Mike Sound. Okay. Sam Nee is saying people forget how much of a savage young JBJ was. Dude was doing shit no one did every damn fight. Yeah, you're right. Not to mention, like, he wasn't really even training, right? Like, he was fucking around a lot. That's when he was, like, doing all of his coke and all that shit. TJ Kill. He could have been so much more okay. He's arguably the GOAT. Yeah, I mean, he's the GOAT, but, like, if his reputation stayed solid and he stayed active rather than, getting suspended by USADA and all this other bullshit, I think he could have been a lot more, man. Like, he could be a much higher seller in, like, pay-per-views and popularity and eyeballs he draws. Like, I'm talking close to Connor level is what I expected. Fender Jazz said, "Lock, tonight I watched you and Cody, then started your Tuesday Lockcast Night Live. You're not helping me get my work done tonight, man. I appreciate the support, my dude." Locky full time is what you guys can call me now. Greg Love, that dude that beat Silva was supposed to be a star, right? You mean Weidman? I don't think Weidman was supposed to be a star. Connor Phillips picks parlays for LFA and Belly. Haven't looked into LFA at all. In terms of Bellator, I think some solid spots are, if you want to parlay, is Bud Gibson Jr. If you want to be even a little riskier, you can take the Gibson Jr. under 2.5. Mads Burnell. I think Victor Nemkov is a decent spot. The under 1.5 and Steve Mowry and Sean Asher. Yeah, I think all those are good parlay spots. I always forget to remind people, if you guys don't mind, hit that like. That always helps out. Shakar is saying, I'm on the brink for Romanov. I want to touch the over, but I'm so nervous for it. You think I should? I think it goes long, man. I do think it goes long. I think we see them almost stalemate each other in the wrestling in the first round, and then whoever's going to win is going to start to pull away in the second round. But yeah, it's going to be a sweat. Jimmy the Drunk, huge UFC bust was Will Brooks. Yeah, I agree. More with less saying Yagshi Muradov is actually really good. I think he decisions Corey Anderson tomorrow. I'd be surprised if he decisions him. I think his best path to victory is knocking him out. The chin of Anderson is always super sketchy. Yeah, I don't know. Ooh, Zake with another good one. Duo Choi is definitely looking like a bust. Dino is ready to push him to the moon. Yeah, his chin could just not hold up. Sahil Pancholi is saying, thoughts on Jimmy Flick's interview with Ariel. I actually did not see it, but it just seems like his heart's not in the game anymore. Can you blame the dude? Like, it's a tough fucking sport. So, yeah, bummed considering the unique style that he brought to the cage. The one time we saw him, he gets a fucking flying triangle. Like, it would have been cool to see him in the UFC a little bit longer, but it is what it is. Zaki is who the fuck is he? Yeah, he's fighting Corey Anderson tomorrow. Billy Briz, what's going on, my dude? TG Killer saying he needed those things to happen or he wouldn't be where he's at all. Sure, but I mean, just like, again, if it stayed squeaky clean and he still did his shit under the, on the DL, I don't know. More or less saying Daly only has 2 KO losses in 60 fights against good guys. Last one a decade ago. I think, yeah, that was Nick Diaz. Crazy fucking fight. If you guys have not seen Nick Diaz versus Paul Daly round 1, it is only one round. Watch that fucking fight. And secondly, make sure you guys check out Andrei Arlovsky versus Travis Brown from UFC 187. Probably one of my favorite fights of all time. Absolutely insane. One more I'll throw on you guys. Like, that fight, Arlovsky and Brown, and this next one are 2 fights I would always show to, like, some of my friends that are just getting into MMA or just wanted to watch a fight just to pass the time and be entertained. So, like I said, Arlovsky Brown and Frank Mir and Todd Duffy. Absolutely insane. For anybody that watches or listens to the Anakin Florian podcast, that intro is from that fucking fight. So insane. Tez, what up, Lock? Vegas in this bitch. Nemkov or Davis? Nemkov opened at -350. My goodness, yeah. I like Davis, man. I think he pulls off the upset here. I think he pulls off the upset. Noah, do you think McGregor was on steroids? I think they're all on steroids, to be honest. It's like one of the first things I learned once I started working behind the scenes in the MMA game. Some get away with it, some don't. Greg Loughnane, the guy who beat Silva in his last fight. Oh yeah, Uriah Hall. Yeah, good point. Yeah, he's a busted prospect. Yeah, Jimmy the Drunk got it. Even though he wasn't like undefeated or anything, but he just was on the Ultimate Fighter. And if you guys were fans back then, like you remember while they were filming, Dana would talk about like, scariest KO of all time when he knocked out Adam Cella, but he was like super high on Uriah Hall. Like he made it sound like this guy was a monster. And then he fell flat in the Ultimate Fighter finale against Kelvin Gastelum. Yeah, yeah, Uriah Hall, good one, man. Greg Love, shout out. Tio took it. I'm not sure if that link helps roll, but basically the light on the ceiling and the angle shining toward the wall, so the light bounces off the shiny gold patterns. Ooh. Where did you send it to me? I'm not sure where you sent it to me. Greg Love is saying, look, there's this hilarious YouTube channel that makes cartoons of UFC fighters and stuff like that. Check it out. Yeah, I've seen that guy. That guy's jokes. I used to watch Tommy Tohold a lot. I'm not sure if he does it anymore, but like years ago, he was the guy. Like Tommy Tohold was the shit. Jack Attack in the chat. What's going on, my guy? Jimmy the Drunk, thoughts on Ariel's interview with MMA Cheney? I watched some of it. I know he like asked him about fucking the schmo and all that. Yeah, great interview, dude. Solid interview. Shakar is saying you like Hubbard to beat Bush on short notice for Bush. And I don't know how much about Bush, but people who usually fight on short notice lose. He's a solid wrestler, right? And that's all Hubbard's been facing as of late. But it's just the short notice nature of it that freaks me out a little bit. Like, is he going to be able to keep the pace? Is he able going to go a solid 15 without getting finished? Can he win 2 rounds? I don't know. Tio took it. Yeah. Michael Herrera, Gaethje versus Johnson. Yeah, that fight was fucking crazy. That was a great 1-round fight. Or 2-round, right? It was actually a 2-round fight. Yeah, that was crazy. Jack Attack, General with Smash or Pass. You can figure that one out. Teal took it. Where did you get your custom pop-up lights made? Fuck, I don't remember the website. Axis or some shit? AC. I'm not sure, bro. I'll have to check it out again, but it took a while to get here. Almost like fucking 4 weeks. If you guys remember the first couple episodes that I did earlier this year, you'll see that I had no signs, just a wallpaper. So yeah, it took a while to get here from China. Gift of nothing. John Dodson was busted. He had that KO of TJ coming off Ultimate Fighter. His career took a nosedive. I don't think anybody was super high on him to think that he was going to be this crazy fighter, though, right? It looked great. Like he looked like a solid power puncher and somebody that could deliver knockouts. But I'm not sure if people had championship level written across his head, his face. Tio Toga said he sent the link in this chat. Send it one more time because I didn't see it. Just please, Chupta. I will light one for us right now. Let's go. You know what these Locky late nights are about, my guy. Gift of nothing. Jackson Wink MMA has a bunch of busted prospects. At one point, they were dominating every fight. Their style seemed to change at some point, and all their fighters started losing. Yeah, that's when they started to break up too, right? That's another. Solid point. Remember when AKA was like ruling everything? You had Rockhold, you had Khabib, you had DC, you had Kane. Fuck. That was a powerhouse. Zach A, the chiseled Adonis is the shit. He's got hilarious commentary on brutal KOs. How is Hall versus Weidman? Pickman Weidman looked really bad in his last fight. Even if he wrestles, he gasses in around. Yeah, I haven't looked into that fight yet, but that is a very intriguing one. Weidman's single legs are underrated. When is that cool striker Fiziev going to fight? He looks like someone who can give us some cool KOs. Yeah, I know he's active. He's down at Sanford MMA right now, but he looks very active in terms of like wanting to get ready for a fight. Yeah, I'd be surprised if we don't see him past July. Okay. The Lonely Source News to podcast. And God, you're hilarious. Shakar is saying, have you ever talked with DFS in your videos or vice versa? I'm assuming you're talking about Brady. We did. He was on my podcast last week. The Ultimate Weigh-In Show. He came on that one, and we did one more together. We did a Salvetri's pre-lock show one time. But yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. I'll leave it at that. Greg Love, aka was on fire. People forget what a monster DC was because we watched him all fun and games in the commentary team. Yeah, you're right. He's a beast. It's crazy that he was the one that decided to go down to 205 because Kane was ruling the heavyweight division, and then he just kept running into Jones. Weird how he eventually still became champ and became champ. But yeah, I miss those days, right? Like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the nostalgia in me in terms of when I originally got into the sport. But I want to go back and watch, the from like UFC 50 and on, and that's including Strikeforce, WC, and all that shit. Just watching those fights from this lens now, being a fan for over 11 to 12 years now. Crazy. It's crazy how much time is going to fly by. Speaking of which, all right, some of these trolls are, you gotta, I'm gonna put you in timeout, but if you come back with some weirdness again, you're done. But what I was gonna say is, I think next week or the week after, I'm gonna do a Locky late night where I pretty much go through my entire journey through MMA. And what I mean by that is like no longer being a fan, but somebody that's worked behind the scenes. I want to kind of detail every aspect of my journey, like the local events that I worked on, fighters I've worked with, UFC events that I've been a part of and worked with. Um, yeah, I have so many fucking cool stories, and I got a bunch of my like um credentials and media passes, all that shit. I got it in a box somewhere. I got to find it still. But yeah, it's crazy that it's led me to this, that I can do this thing full time now. Yet it's like me baked as fuck, 3 a.m. Sitting in my office slash studio talking to you guys. Not too shabby. Shows if you truly invested yourself in something and engulf yourself in it, you got to make some sacrifices for sure. But I got a good support system. The wife is super understanding, saw the big picture when I was having to, you know, sacrifice time with them just to catch up on work and put out videos and all that shit. It's a fucking crazy ride. Let me see when I started this MMA Lock of the Night Twitter, because that's when things really start to go. So June of 2017, closing on 4 years now, when I originally made this MMA Lock of the Night brand. 4 years. And it's completely transformed in terms of what I thought it was going to be to what it is now. And podcast was definitely not on that list, which ultimately led me to more content creation and all that. But I'm thankful for it. I mean, I've been able to get a lot of people on board, people that are even willing to like pay the Patreon thing and support me through that. Um, the reputation and the respect is awesome. And that's what I hope to continue to show to other people, right? That's another reason why I'd like to do the Ultimate Weigh-In show and not have a set crew. I mean? I want to be able to showcase these other guys that are that were me 2 years ago, you know, that were me 3 years ago. And I'm starting off with some big bangers with the first couple episodes just to get the show established and let people know 9 p.m. Eastern, Friday nights. You can rely on this show to give you the best predictions and analysis for the upcoming events. But yeah, I just wanted to give an ode to the people that have been doing it for a while and the people that are just starting off. Work your ass off. Put in your best effort. Even when results aren't going your way, like for me, for like from 2019 to 2020, I was on a rough stretch. 2019 was not a good betting year for me. 2020, I rebounded near the end to save my year. But now, I started January and February off on a really bad foot, went down minus 25 units or something. But now, since going back to the lock of the night method, I'm back down to only down 10 units on the year. Slow and steady. Lock of the night method. That's what's going to catch us every fucking weekend and something you guys can look forward to. All right, let me get back to the chat for a little bit and then I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Uh, EA was on fire. Yep, you're right. Gift of Nothing AKA is having a second wind. Who is on AKA still though? Like who are the prominent fighters that come out of there? Marcus Ard saying what up, Lockbird check going to get the sub over 20. That's a big prediction, my man. You better put some money on that submission prop because you're going to be getting some good money on that. Let me see what the submission prop is here for Mr. Anthony Burchek. Burchek by sub plus 930, almost 10 to 1 on Burchek by sub. So yeah, my guy, Marcus Ard, if you think he's going to do it, go put some money on that shit. Shakar is saying Zardo Santos fight to beat Josiane Nunes. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I like Zara there. I think she wins that fight. Greg Love could be wanted to train Rockhold, right? Something. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's actually going to be training Rockhold and maybe giving this guy a comeback. How old is Luke? I feel like he's getting up there. He's 36 years old. So I'd say he has like 3 years max, but that chin does not look good. Connor Phillips, what is your experience working behind the scenes? What did you do for the UFC? Again, I'll detail a little bit more deeper next week when I do the stream, but like I helped them out with PR. It was more on a volunteer basis. It wasn't as an actual job, full-time job, but I was trying to make it a full-time job. Didn't really work out. But I worked at several events with them. And then from that branched out to working regional shows. But again, I'll detail it all when again next week. Killer G is saying, I've realized anything is possible once his opinion talked her way into a title after getting slapped by GDR. Yeah. Well, she got one more win after that, no? I see what you're saying there. She has, yeah, Sarah McMahon. Yeah. Being Sarah McMahon gets you the title shot. That should just show you the level of the division or the state of the division. Marcus Starr, Brock Lesnar versus Couture. Shakar is saying also Abdul under 1.5. Like your input because I think they're just gifting him this fight. Yeah, I'm the same way, but it's tough to trust a guy like Abdul. You know, if he doesn't get the knockout, it really goes down the shitter. But I think if he wins, it's under 1.5. So if you're looking to bet Abdul, just take the under 1.5, and that's the best money you'll get off of it. Or Abdul in round 1 plus 140, I think is the last time I saw it. Not a bad spot either. Worst fight IQ in history, either Michael Johnson or Jared Scoggins, if you guys remember Jared Scoggins. Gift of Nothing is saying Islam, yeah, but who else? I sent the link. I don't think it's as well on Jocelyn on Twitter. Yes, please do. DM it to me on Twitter. I appreciate it, buddy. More with us, kind of wondering what Jacob Malcolm is going to have to predict KOs in the first round in a row. What if he fights really defensively? Possibly. Possibly could be very defensive. But what adjustments can he really make? He's gonna get rushed. He's gonna get clobbered. It would really suck if the UFC cut him after that, though. You know, was the fact that it got you into watching MMA. Mine was Van Zant versus Rawlings. Of course, it was. Gift for nothing, aka Dagestan. Yeah, you're right. DKS doesn't have that prop posted yet. Betting from Chicago. Well, hopefully they get it up in time. Damn, lock on a late one tonight, boys. Yes, you know it. I'm out of here in 5 minutes, though. So, are we going to see Rockhold soon? That'll be dope. Okay. Like, what is. I don't understand, like, people that are that dumb. Like, I don't get it. What comedy, what satisfaction are you getting from being a dumbass like that? You know what I mean? God. Some of these guys are fucking crazy. If you guys haven't already, to like the video, that would be nice. We got 31 likes on it already. Shakar is saying makes no sense, man. I don't get it either. Like, yeah, ugh. I remember there was one time that somebody made like my exact MMA lock of the night, same logo, all that shit, and started commenting on my video and like being a troll or something. Crazy. All right, see you, Greg Love. No, are you a troll too? You a troll? All right, I'm gonna wind down for the night. It's getting a little bit too crazy for me now. Appreciate everybody's checking it out. I will be live once again in about 7 hours. I'm gonna go get some rest and then back on the content creation vibe. But 10 a.m. Eastern, I'm gonna be doing a Bellator 257 full recap or not recap breakdown. Um, and then 12 o'clock noon Eastern weigh-ins. I'll be doing that. Let's shit live. And then 9 p.m. Eastern, four panel breakdown, four-man panel, I should say. Me, Bleed, MMA prediction guru, and Clint from Die Hard MMA podcast. We're going to be doing a bit of a odds reunion. So yeah, that should be a fun little stream. Hope you guys are excited for that one. Shakara's asking, do I like Penne? Pena, I guess you're meaning Luis Pena. I don't. I think he gets grinded out. Freddie Freeball just caught the end. Maybe you can rewind if you want to listen to it in the past tense. You're welcome to. Don't miss the wins this time. Hey. Again, I had false information. I thought the weigh started at noon. Unfortunately, I got fucked and it started at 11. But I think we're getting regularly scheduled UFC on Saturday, which should make it a noon Eastern weigh-in time. Marcus Artisan, he appreciates me. I appreciate you, my guy. Have a good night, man. You're the best. I appreciate you stopping by, dude. Trust me. Killer G knows that people are bored, nothing better to do. MMA Oracle saying Corey Whitaker Cortez 3-team parlay. Corey's a little bit iffy. Again, his chin just concerns me, but I like the other two. All right, I'm out. I'll see you guys in 7 hours for the Bellator breakdown. Peace. Good night.